All right. Welcome everyone to the 14th race of the season here at Nashville Super Speedway, and we're about to get underway with this race that should be very exciting here today. On the pole for tonight is the 21 of Mr. Kill. Regardless of where he finishes tonight, he is locked in to the All-Star race at the end of the season.
Drivers, start your engines!
So even if he does not get a win, he will still be locked into the All-Star race, and he does not have to go through the fan vote. So getting ready for some sick action here today at Nashville Super Speedway. This is the second to last intermediate on the schedule, and the final one on the schedule is our season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, a track that, might I remind you, had both of our championship contenders crash out at the end, not before the end of the race. So there's a 7-point difference between the championship contenders at the end of the season, and it was a very exciting race overall for the field filler Final Four. But now we've got a pretty close battle for the championship as of right now between Packmobile and Gogomobile. Let's see where they're starting in the field today. Packmobile in the 97, somewhat in the mid-packies. Gogomobile is about 4 rows ahead of him, or 3 rows ahead of him, so he's going to have a bit of a start ahead of our points leader Packmobile. But since both of them were involved in a wreck at Armory Digital yesterday, they are both around the same spot in points. But the pace car rolls off, and we're about to go racing here at Nashville Super Speedway, a race that was so entertaining last season. Let's make sure it's entertaining here today. Green flag is out. Mr. Kill leads them to green. Already seeing some 3-wide action back there with Gogomobile in the middle. He's going to use that middle line to get ahead of Dragonite and U-Haul there. What a move for that 13, who's already won an intermediate this season. He's looking to win once again after winning at Kansas. Or Kentucky, actually, not Kansas. But Packmobile getting into some real 3-wide action again. He's got Sad Knuckles on his inside, Hubris on his outside. Two contenders that have not done all that well this season so far, but wow, Packmobile is really struggling on that middle line. Now he's got Igus on the bottom, who finished second. Oh, Amori Jr. way down the bottom of the track. He must have gotten forced out of line by someone who was with him. So he loses a bunch of momentum there, and now is under fire from the 26 of U-Haul. Last race's winner, Shadow the Hedgehog, drafting off of the 7 of Meloetta, who also had a good finish after yesterday's race. But now Raccoon, our defending series champion, has taken the lead ahead of Mr. Kill and the 98 Spark It Up, having another great run here at the start of this race. I might also add we have 150 laps in today's race, so it should be pretty short, all things considered, if we don't have that many cautions. But knowing this track, we might have maybe one or two, who knows. But what I really like about this track is that there's multiple different racing grooves, and you can basically make any of them work, especially with the AI that we have right now. So Mr. Kill already falling through the field, though he has lost a spot to Spark It Up and Meloetta. Now he's probably going to lose a spot to Shadow as well. Crush Cube in the 24 had a good qualifying run. He is making his way through the field, and so is Gogomobile in the 13, looking to take that championship lead away from the 97, I mean, of Packmobile. And there's Sad Knuckles, Gentle Cat, Hydrogen having a pretty decent start. Had a decent qualifying effort for that team. Herb in the 01, I guess in the 19, also making some moves around the 02 of Amori Jr. Might also mention before this race even started, we had a wreck in the test race where I had to get a screenshot. It happened after I got the screenshot, after they had crossed the line. They had a big wreck on the backstretch, so hopefully we don't have anything like that here today. But now Crush Cube in the 24 trying to make a run on the inside of the 7 of Meloetta. Let's see if he can get past him here, or get past her here. Still side by side on the back straightaway. Look at the 13 of Gogomobile also making some spots too. Like I said, he is the last intermediate track winner, so he knows how to get around at places like these. Shadow and Raccoon especially are also pretty good at these tracks, but Spark It Up is a bit of a sleeper, and so is Crush Cube. They're going to go 3 wide for that second place position. Here comes a 24 looking to try and get to the lead. past Shadow, who's now taking it away from Raccoon. Shadow looking to potentially go back-to-back in 2 separate races this season, or 2 consecutive races. Only one other contender has done that, and that is Road Toad. Actually, not Road Toad, but he has won 2 races this season. Road Toad did almost go back-to-back at one point, but he ended up losing out in the end at one point this season. So he is just looking. But now Raccoon right on the back of Crush Cube, trying to move him up the line. Looks like Crush Cube may have slowed down this entire group right now, as Shadow is getting far away from the rest of this group right here. So he is currently your race leader. At the back of the pack, it is currently Bowser having a pretty bad day so far. He had a pretty meh qualifying run, but now he's stuck in the back with these field fillers. Gun, Space Cube, and Pocket. Looks like he's having some trouble getting around them. But Galaga not having a good run either. Neither is Klonoa, as usual, for that team, I suppose, this season. Tram also not having a good run either, as he has been fantastic so far this season, especially on the road courses, but right now he's not doing too hot. You see Sisyphus in the 08 trying to... Actually, Sisyphus qualified pretty well, fell all the way back to 31st. Definitely not up to speed compared to what they had in qualifying, but he is way down the bottom trying to get around Sheepmobile, and looks like that 30's putting on some pressure to the 08s. But there's your points leader, Packmobile, running 16th right now. As the season winds down, you're going to start seeing more and more contenders for this championship. Currently 3rd in points, I believe, is the 44 of Daisy, now running 10th. Has just broken into the top 10, actually, and since Mr. Kill is still dropping back quite a bit, another position could be made up here. Gentle Cat in the 71, now battling with the 19 of Igus. Going toe-to-toe with each other right now. 2 pretty decent intermediate track drivers. Oh, Igus got way up in the outer groove, gotten the marbles right there. And here comes Tosto and Hubris trying to pass her on the outside. Pushing her up the track, and Tosto will get that position ahead of the 19, forces her back to 13th. Now Daisy in the 44 trying to push Mr. Kill in the 21 up a little bit further. And now he started to regain his composure a little bit, but not by too much. Meanwhile, Crush Cube led that previous lap. We did not see that happen, but now he's on the outside. Raccoon gets an amazing run on the inside lane. He won at Auto Club, or Raccoon, as a matter of fact, won at Auto Club earlier this season. So he knows how to run at these intermediate tracks. Even though Auto Club is a bit longer and a bit different functionally compared to Nashville, it is still what I consider to be an intermediate track. Not really a super speedway, not in my eyes at least, but... Battle for the lead, though. Shadow trying to make a move on Raccoon. Like I said, this is the exciting action you wanted for this race, but we've already got a problem. Klonoa once again with another mechanical problem. Or this time it's a tire failure, but he is definitely going to go a lap down here once he comes to pit road. But yet another disappointing day for that 9017, who has just been super unlucky all season. Pulls down pit road, has a fairly not great pit box, but definitely a devastating blow for that team, as they've been just terrible all season in terms of luck. Closest they ever came to a win was at Bermuda, of all places. But Curb in the 01 has fought his way up from the back of the pack. He is now up to second. Sad Knuckles is trying to go for third. Mr. Kill now moving back up the field. He's going up to fifth by that time in that lap. Gogobobile up to seventh. Daisy up to eighth. And Cars Cube has fallen off quite a bit. He's back to ninth after just leading that one lap. I said, lots of battles going on between these leaders right now. Looks like Shadow way up on the outside, though. That's not going to be beneficial for him at all. He was just trying to block that 01, who was also riding the top lane. Here comes the 82 down at the bottom, try and get past him. All we need is Pac in the 11, who's still in the back of the field, not doing too great. Actually, pretty much all the field fillers are back here, besides a couple others, like Baguette, who's having a pretty good day. Actually, no, Baguette's back here, but yeah, he's struggling. But here's a potential battle for the lead. Sad Knuckles gets a great run out of turn 4, and he's going to take that lead away. Actually, no, that's not turn 4, that's turn 2. But a great pass by the 82. He's now going to get out front. Now Curb trying to get around the outside of Shadow here. He does, and there's Golgomobile in the top 5. A win here for that team would be great for his chances to beat the points leader after this race. Curb trying to hold off both Sad Knuckles and Shadow at the same time. He's doing a pretty good job at that. Looking for his second win this season. The top 10 has been pretty shuffly so far. Actually, Heihachi's gained a bunch of positions since the start. So has the 66 of Grimnir Nation, who finished last in the previous race we had here. So the previous race we had in general. Pac-Mobile is now trying to get past the 66 here, but is just having trouble getting the draft and getting past him here. He needs to catch up to his biggest rival, actually both of his biggest rivals, Daisy and Golgomobile, who are both having great runs here today. So hopefully they continue to have great runs today, as Klonoa is still struggling to even complete laps, but they may be able to get one of their laps back on the next caution. Maybe not, actually, because there's still one down. Here comes Sad Knuckles down to the bottom lane again. Crush Cube has recovered back to 4th. Spark it up now, way down low to get past Golgomobile. And there's Hubris in the 07. Showing her strength from Season 1, or the reboot Season 1. And now almost 3 wide for the lead there. Sad Knuckles takes the top lane to get around Shadow. And the 47 of Gun has a tire problem. Second tire failure so far in this race. He is coasting down the apron. Was at 38th at the time when that happened. Probably a little higher up, but he probably had a tire issue before the start-finish line, so we will have to wait and see what the official ruling on that is, but he is going to have to coast all the way around to try and get back to pit road. So problems for Gun, who has not had as good of a season as he had last year, but then again, his AI was nerfed considering he's a field filler, so he is in for just left side tires. So Klonoa was in for fuel and right side tires. Actually, just 4 tires, which is interesting. And Gun is in for left sides only, so a little bit of different strategies here. But now Crush Cube trying to push Curb to the lead as Shadow leads another lap here at Nashville. Spark it up on the 98, not too far back either, as Sad Knuckles now falling back to the clutches of Hubris in 6th. And now Toasto up here in 8th. Mr. Kill in 9th, and Hedgerton trying to get to the top 10. Remember, Hedgerton has been pretty good on these intermediates, has led some laps at tracks like Auto Club in Michigan, but hasn't been able to win the races in the end. This is probably the only type of track where he's been strong at this season, but he really needs to win, not only to get into the All-Star race, but to also have the bragging rights for it, even though he's not doing too good in points, so he wouldn't really be eligible for the championship, as of now at least. Anything can happen, especially since we still have a decent amount of races left in the season, but still got a long way to go in this race, though. Since we're already seeing tire failures, it's starting to seem a little bit more like Bristol from this past weekend, where the tires are just going down already. If it is like Bristol, then oh boy, this will be a fun race. But I remember the tires were pretty good last time. Even though this is a concrete track, so it wouldn't make much sense to be that way, but oh well. Physics aren't entirely supposed to be all realistic in this, even if it was intended to be, so who knows. It's a custom track, nobody really cares about physics. Side by side, I have turn number 4. Looks like Spark It Up is going to lead this lap in that 98. Crush Cube falls back to 7th. Hubris now back to 6th after Tosto now takes her final spot in the top 5. Edgerton now to 8th. Daisy to 10th. Mr. Kill now falls out of the top 10. Here comes Omori Jr., our fastest running field killer so far, having a pretty decent day. Points leader Packmobile still running 17th. Potentially under fire from the 56 of Sun Cube if he doesn't get clear of him here. Looks like he will not. Sun Cube now going to try and make a move on the 97 here, passing for a spot. And the battle for the top 5 still heating up yet again. Tosto's falling out of there. Now it's between Crush Cube and Hubris. And like I said, they shuffle positions around so much of this track, you'd think it's Talladega in terms of passing. But now Sad Knuckles trying to take the lead away once again. He got a great run out of turn 4. The 98 did not. I believe the 82 did lead that lap. Yes, he did. So a great move for Sad Knuckles to get out in front. And Curb had a great run out of turn 1, so he's going to move up some spots. So Sad Knuckles all by himself, but like we saw with Shadow, it's very easy to lose a lead here, especially since everyone else behind them is getting such great runs. But maybe it was Shadow's not having great runs in the corners all by himself. So let's see how this race will shape up for those who are trying to catch up to him. Curb easily going to catch up to him here, try and pass him for the lead. And he gets around him, and now the 07 of Huber's trying to break a long winning streak. After getting a couple of wins in the regular season championship last season, she's been not great this season, but she's looking to turn it around, get a win here today. And now up to third. That does seem entirely possible, but now the field has spread out quite a bit since the start of this race, so they're all just trying to get to their first green flag pit stop cycle without any issues whatsoever. I don't even remember what caused the cautions from the last wreck, or from the last race here. I'm going to double check and see real quick. Also, I think they updated both the YouTube app and the YouTube Music app. Because, like, now I can see the live icon from when I'm live, when I'm watching it on my phone, but the YouTube Music thing also got redesigned, and it's so much better now. Like, holy crap, it is so much, has a so much better UI. Okay, so the last caution at last time we were at Nashville happened under the green flag pit stops, which was around lap 64, so it was on lap 64, actually. It involved Raccoon, of all people, so let's see how that shapes out for our green flag pit stops this time. Oh, never mind. It was between McQueen and... What was that? It's like McQueen and Eggdog, who was a contender last season for the championship, but unfortunately didn't get very far. Hubris now trying to go for the lead. That 07 is, like I said, has not won in a long time, so it'd be great for that team to win once again. They didn't. I don't think she didn't win at Nashville last season. She didn't actually win at all in the playoffs last season, which is probably her undoing. So but now Hubris leads here at Nashville, getting relatively close to the green flag pit stops. And Hedgerton now in the top 10 once again as Tosto falls out. And Gogomobile's actually lost a few spots. He's back to 12th. Actually, now the 13th as Omori Jr.'s passed him. And Pagmobile's fallen off quite a bit too. He's back to 23rd. Has been passed by Whimsicott, Gentle Cat, Sisyphus, and I believe also by Suncube. So he's definitely struggling with the setup he has right now. So he really needs to work on that on these next round of pit stops. 3 wide there for a bit. Curb and Crush Cube and Side Knuckles all getting together in turns 1 and 2. What a great run for them today. Now spark it up out front ahead of Hubris. Great run for both of them today, but a great run for a lot of different contenders. We've already had a pretty sizable amount of leaders so far in this race, and oh, Curb almost gets turned, I believe, by the 82. Almost went bowling like what we saw at Armory Digital, and that was almost a huge problem for a few of our cubes that are high up in points, especially that 82, the 01, and the 44, so that would have been terrible, terrible for all 3 of them. Also, if you guys are seeing any errors with the stream or if there's any buffering or anything, I did enable ultra low latency for the first time because YouTube recommended it and they said, oh, ultra low latency is going to be good for your chat integration. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure. I'm pretty sure my Wi-Fi can handle it. That was my main concern in the first place, but it looks like it's doing fine, even though the replay thing on the YouTube live streaming site kind of died last time I streamed, so we'll have to see how that ends in the long run, especially for the rest of these races, especially for my phone. Actually, let me get the stream back up on my phone. I had to close it because I was going back to the old Nashville race. So Spark It Up still out front, but Curb chasing him down once again to try and get back out front. Really, we've seen just about everyone up here except for Daisy and Hedgerton get out front to lead a lap. And they could easily become contenders for the win in this race, that's for sure. That's for sure. Here comes Crush Cube making it around the bottom, trying to get past the 82 Sad Knuckles. And now he's back up to third. He did lead a lap earlier in this race, so he will get 5 bonus points, even though he is pretty far back in points. I believe if he has a bunch of good runs in these last few races, he can salvage maybe a top 20, maybe even a top 15 points finish. I think he is eligible for the All-Star race, and if he isn't, he's definitely going to be a strong contender for the fan vote. So, and there will be 3 different winners of the fan vote. The top 3 from the fan vote will move on to the main event after the All-Star Open is over. And if one of the fan vote winners wins, then it's just the other 2. So that makes things much easier. Those tabs open on my phone. Interesting. Oops, I did not want to turn my phone off. And now my bit rate's all blurry on my phone. Well, that's just fantastic. But I'd say we have a lot of strong contenders to win this race today. Haven't seen much out of Hedgerton, Daisy, or Grimnir Nation just yet, but we've seen that these 3 could potentially get up to the front and battle for the win. And if they do, they can be strong contenders to win this race. But Curb right now and Spark It Up have been the best out front so far. And maybe Shadow as well, as Shadow's gotten a pretty decent lead at one point. But Sad Knuckles could also be a winner, even though he is not eligible. He is technically considered a field filler, even though he does have a banner. But Crush Cube could win this race. That would be a very popular win. Hedgerton, the 06, could win this race. Could be a good turnaround for that overall roller coaster of a season that 06 has had after being involved in some wrecks throughout the season. Daisy winning again would be pretty good. Same with Grimnir Nation. Same with Hubris winning for the first time in a while. Because Grimnir Nation carries on the legacy of the 25 Dragalia lost. Same owner, different cube, but maybe Phoenix could be their redemption arc for when we go there for the next race on Friday. Wait, am I supposed to race on Friday? I need to remember if I'm actually going to set up a race on Friday, because I don't know. I might actually do a race on Friday. I mean, I was originally planning it to be Saturday and Sunday, but I think I might just make it Friday, Saturday to make things easier for me. And because the Cup race is on Sunday, and my online league race is also on Sunday, so that'll just make things easier for me. Now Crush Cube has fallen back quite a bit. He's in 9th now. Hedgerton now falls back to 10th. It looks like Toaster's right on his back bumper, going to try and push him out of the way. That's how easy it is to get shuffled around a track like this. It almost does race like a real super speedway with how many positions get swapped so far in this race. But right now, Curb once again is being the showboat out front here at Nashville. But our first round of green flag pit stops is coming up pretty soon. So he's looking forward to stay out front for a pretty long while. Win this race, potentially get his 3rd win this season. Shadow now tucks back and forth. Spark It Up is now settling for 5th, loses 2 spots in one corner. back there. Now Grimnir Nation up to 6th. Hubris up to back to 7th, and now everyone else behind them still trying to settle out where they need to be. The rest of the top 10 actually just kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field, because now Raccoon is a pretty far distance back from Hedgerton, who is the last cube in the top 10. So Mr. Kill, though, still struggling after setting on pole, even though, like as I mentioned earlier, he is still eligible for the All-Star race after winning that pole. Every winner and every pole sitter will be eligible, plus the All-Star Open winner, plus the fan vote winners will be in the All-Star race. So, and that'll be at Charlotte, and we all know what happened last time we went to Charlotte, but this time it'll be with less entries, so it'll be alright. But now they're all running pretty slow-ish lap times coming up for our first round of green flag pit stops pretty soon. And fastest lap of the day is the 82 of Sad Knuckles. They are all running pretty similar lap times around the top 10 fastest overall. Grimnir Nation, I'm not surprised, is up there. Bowser's 3rd fastest, actually, which is pretty interesting. Spark It Up, 4th fastest, not a surprise either. Curb up there is not a surprise, neither is the 3 of the 13 or the 24. Or Heihachi's 9th fastest, so that's not a bit of a surprise. Let's see where Bowser is right now. Is he still by himself? Or is he moving up the field? He is. He's up to 28th. Still not too good for that team, but he's making his way up. But Pac-Mobile has just been stagnated ever since he started this race. He is just not gaining any positions. And actually, now he is caught up to his rival in the championship hunt. The 13 of Gogomobile has fallen all the way back here, and now Pac-Mobile and the 13 are now going to battle for what basically is the championship, potentially the championship position here at Nashville. So these two still going at it. Or these two still are the top 2 in points, but Daisy could potentially be a spoiler if those two have problems towards the end of the season, and she continues her consistent runs as of recent. So Daisy could be a spoiler to win this championship, because she's only about 90 points, or about 110 points back of our leaders, which may sound like a lot, but it really isn't a lot. If you win a race, you get about 150, so she just needs to do a lot better than Pac-Mobile and Gogomobile do, and she could be our points leader. But Shadow is now back out front as we are approaching our first round of green flag pit stops. Who's going to come in first and who is going to come in last? As short pitting is very important at this track due to how the tire wear works, and if they pit now, they'll have to pit one more time before the end of this race, that's for sure. But you'll start to see when they want to come down and pit if they go down to the bottom, in like way down to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. So is anyone going to commit just yet? No, not really. None of our leaders will, at least, so Shadow just trying to lead more laps now. But Sad Knuckles is trying to run him down for that lead before he gets down to pit road. Well, he's backing off a little bit, though. He knows that he cannot be too aggressive right now because he needs to worry about pitting. Actually, he's going down the middle lane now, so yep, he is committing down pit road. And here are our first takers. Looks like Shadow, Sad Knuckles, Spark It Up, and Hubris are coming down. So is Tosto. Roto's coming down, so is Whimsicott. Sheepmobile is in. Ruhi is in. And that's about it for those who are committing on this first lap. But Grimnir Nation's going to lead their first lap of the race, followed by Hubris. And now it looks like Curb's going to commit to pit road this time, as well as Hedgerton. And so is the 60. So it is the 66. So 3 more of our leaders coming down to pit this time. Now Crush Cube and Daisy are going to battle it out for the top spot, as they are next of our leaders to come down and pit. See the rest of our leaders coming down pit road there. And now they're both merging down at the bottom lane so they can get on that pit road entry. And now both Crush Cube and Daisy are going to come down. Raccoon and Sun Cube as well. Heihachi's staying out for now. He's trying to get the most out of his tires. Now both of our championship contenders, Gogomobile and Pac-Mobile, coming down at the same time. This should be interesting. U-Haul is in. McQueen is staying out for now. And Shadow already pitted, so he doesn't need to worry about stuff right now. So just about everyone that is coming down pit road for a scheduled stop is coming in now. And Heihachi now committing to come down pit road. And McQueen has to come down next, and now he is going to make the merge on the pit road here. So that's pretty much everyone that has went ahead and pitted yet, except for Grimnir Nation, who goes way down the apron for some reason there. That was very strange. He's probably not getting up to his tires just yet, as he's holding up the 17 of Tosto right behind. He's right on his back bumper here. And now everyone else exiting pit road right behind them as Tosto gives the 66 a bit of a bump. He's like, move out of the way, I'm coming through. I have better tires than you right now. And he's now attempting to make a move on that 66 for the lead. And he makes a great run into turn 3 and gets past him right here. But now Shadow is going to be the leader once they finish this cycle. It looks like they have without any issues like we did the last time we had pit cycles at this track. So good on them for not wrecking this time. So Crush Cube is going to be the last one in the top 10 now. Actually, Heihachi is Heihachi the leader? Actually, no, he is just exiting pit road, so no, he's not the leader. He has now just exited pit road, so he's going to be further behind than where he was. But now Shadow is going to be recognized as the leader by the game. But now Sad Knuckles making another run on him for the lead with Spark It Up right behind. Out of turn 2, they're still side by side here. And here comes the 98. Two of these cubes looking for their first win of the season. Shadow just coming off of his first career win at Armory Digital in a photo finish with Igus. His photo finish adversary isn't really doing too hot in this race, but he's having a really good run here today. Hubris now in 4th, Tosto 5th after that cycle. I think Grimnir Nation probably benefited the most, as Curb now slacks off in 7th. 8th is Hedgerton, 9th is Crush Cube, and 10th is Daisy. So Daisy currently doing the best out of all the championship eligible contenders right now. Gogomobile up to 21st, Packmobile up to 22nd, so they both gained a spot on pit road. And no one else really losing or gaining any spots. Although I believe both both Gunn and Klonoa have gotten their laps back, but they're not going to be able to keep them for long. Actually, no, Gunn is still not on the lead lap, but Klonoa is going to have to pit eventually because she is off cycle and still needs to pit for fuel, so. Oops. Spark It Up now takes the lead away from Shadow and Sad Knuckles. Now Hubris catching up to this group of 3 for the lead. Tosto now hanging behind, looking to try and make some moves towards the front of this field. Heihachi has now run the fastest lap of the race by a 30.007. Much faster than what Sad Knuckles and now Goob, who is 3rd fastest, has run. So Goob looks like to be pretty fast on whatever setup they have. Let's see where that 00 is right now. Running 25th, so actually just ran their fastest lap of the race, so not doing great, but yeah, ran 3/10 lower that time. So yeah, Goob is definitely falling off a little bit now as Sisyphus trying to make a move on Heihachi for 17th. Daisy's now fallen out of the top 10. Cold Steel has actually had a pretty good recovery from his rather weak start. He's up to 12th. He had a good finish last night at Armory Digital. Whimsicott also coming off of a good finish at Armory Digital. Same with Suncube. And Crush Cube as well. Uber's making a move for 2nd around the 82, but that Sad Knuckles is struggling to stay off of the corner. And now Shadow trying to make a move to him as well. Side by side coming out of this front straightaway with Tri-Oval in this case. The Spark It Up still out front as of right now. Ooh, Daisy had a bad corner right there. Is holding up Raccoon right behind her. This could be a 3-wide battle for the 12th position if Raccoon can get down to the bottom in time. Looks like he's not going to try and do that. This Cold Steel almost merged right in front of Daisy there. He's going to try and go 3-wide again into turn 1. He's not going to make it stick. He went way too deep into the corner. He lost all his momentum. He's going to lose a spot to both Daisy and Cold Steel here. Oh, the 7. Meloetta with a wheel problem. Another tire failure. That is not the cube I want to focus on. She's still up to speed. It's damage 0, so it might just be a loose wheel, but let's see if she actually does come down pit road later on. But problems for the 07 potentially of Meloetta, who had a pretty decent run. Had a good qualifying position, but has just fallen off since the start of the race. And now Hubris going for the lead once again on the 98 of Spark It Up. Way down the bottom comes the 07. Oh, I don't know who's going to lead the lap this time by. It might be 98. 98 gets it. Going to switch back to the live ticker for that one, or the lap-by-lap ticker. At least on my end. Y'all are just having the scrolling one. They're still side-by-side on the back straightaway here as we've officially passed halfway here at Nashville Superspeedway. Overall, pretty standard Superspeedway race. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up going caution-free, but that just depends on A, if we don't have people being stupid in the corners, and B, if we don't have someone blowing up or a random debris caution. So, let's see how that turns out. Back at the pack, having a lot of action right now. U-Haul and Galaga going at it. Same with Haruhi and Gentlecat there for a second, but they're all really going for a low amount of points. But Gogomobile and Packmobile still struggling right now. Although now the 97 making a run around them, Mori Jr., they're still around the top 20 in terms of position, so they're not having a good day today. Another alerts. That is Klonoa coming on the pit road for his scheduled stop. So only taking half a can of fuel, which is interesting. So, or a can and a half. So Klonoa on for his scheduled stop, as Hubris is now going to put him one lap down once again. And these two battled a lot in Season 1, especially at these intermediates, but they haven't seen a lot of action together in Season 2, but here especially we're seeing this old rivalry form up once again between Hubris and Shadow. Turkey sandwich. Meloetta gets very bold in the corner to try and pass Igus for 17th. Looks like she is going to get it, even with that loose wheel, so I appreciate the boldness from that team today. Side by side for the lead across the line. Let's see the margin of that one. Wow, look at that. That was even across the line between Shadow and Hubris. How about that? Literally a dead heat. Well, Shadow had it by just a barely a fraction of a second. That is insane. But now he is going to make a move ahead of Hubris, but now Spark It Up back in the picture once again. And Really, the only thing that could cause a caution at this rate is if someone blows up and gets stuck on the track, or if there's a random phantom debris yellow, which has happened before, especially at tracks like this. But we could potentially go caution-free in this race, which would be our third caution-free race of the season, which would be very interesting. Sparking up in Shadow now, battling for the lead. Had a bajillion lead changes today. Probably would have more than what we had at Armory Digital. We only had 40 lead changes at Armory Digital, which is not a lot for a super speedway, so I would not be surprised if this race has more lead changes than that race did. Especially since most of the field wrecked out of Armory, or a good portion of the field wrecked out of Armory Digital. And, oh, the 13 of Gogomobile with an engine failure. Problems for the cube that's second in points right now. Ooh, and that's probably going to be our last car winner for today's race, as that is going to be a huge, huge hit for his points. As the 42, I believe, also had a tire problem. That was Tram, another cube that's having a great points run so far this season. He's coming down pit road for a tire issue, but I believe Gogomobile is going to be done for the day with that engine problem. What a disaster for that 13 team. I believe that's the first mechanical failure he's had all season, so this is definitely not a time that he wants to have it when he's battling for the championship. So Tram is coming down pit road, and it looks like the 13 is going to be done for the day. Yep, he is our first retirement of the race. Now Tram actually just got off of pit road, I believe. He came in for 2 tires and 2 cans of fuel, so he theoretically could make it to the end. Well, no. Maybe? No. He could, but like, it may not be a viable strategy if he tries to make it to the end on fuel. If he does, I'd be shocked, but it would be a very, very unwise thing to try and do that. Actually, kind of unwise to make those strategy decisions. Now back to our leaders, Spark It Up making a pretty decent distance ahead of Hubris for the lead, but you know how... Well, actually, I was just about to say the gap would close up pretty easily, but the top 8, 9 technically, have all spaced themselves out pretty well, so they're all just kind of riding it out until we get our next round of pit stops, which should happen around lap 120, so... Wow, Raccoon and Cold Steel, who has lost a couple spots in this corner so far, now getting forced up the track by Suncube. The real Sonic and the fake Sonic. Door to door here at Nashville. But Suncube has the advantage going into turn 1. Here comes Whimsicott in the 89 as well, trying to make some moves. Oh, the 22 of Traffic Cone has a tire down. He's already on pit road because he had the last pit box, so he must have qualified last for this race. But he's got a tire problem. He's already on pit road, so problems for another field filler. A lot of tire problems in this race so far, which is really surprising. So this really is what happened at Bristol this past weekend, and that's a track we're going to later this season. So that's going to be interesting. Even though I'm pretty sure the tire wear is going to be different there than it is in the game. So Tram in the 40 though, running better. I mean, he is better on better tires, so he is technically running better laps than everyone around him, but kind of messing up the rest of this field right now. This big group right here is definitely one to watch in terms of passing. Crush Cube fell to 7th that lap alone. 7th? Wait, really? Well, it's probably because he was behind. Was he behind Heritage? No, he's behind Tosto. Interesting. These three, though, I believe these three are probably going to be up front. Maybe Curb as well if he gets back up there. But these three have been the class of the field so far today. Even that we've had so many leaders so far in this race, these three have definitely been the best leaders to ever do it, I suppose. And they are really killing it right now in terms of keeping it clean and racing clean. Traffic Cone's still on pit road with that tire issue. So he's definitely having a bad day today. Now gone, or not gone, 22 is now off pit road, 5 laps down. Gogomobile is currently last with a gearbox failure for that 13, so probably, well, you don't really shift on this track, so something must have broken on the straightaway. It does have a tendency to randomly fail like that. Look at Tram running it through the middle to try and pass both of our leaders to try and get one of his laps back. He is currently 2 down, so he's going to get one of his laps back here once he gets past Hubris, but he's got a long way to go, and his tires are probably going to degrade by the time he gets done with that. And while this is going on, I am going to put my 3DS on the charger real quick. Oh my knee. Did I miss anything? Nope. Okay, good. Step away. Oh. I put my 3DS on the charger so I could use it for later. I modded it recently, and I got the Mario Kart 7 CTGP thing, and it is very fun. It has a lot of really neat tracks, but I haven't played them all yet. Although one game I'm very interested to play, at least in finish, is New Super Mario Bros. 2. Because it's a game I've never played before, so I'm very excited for that. Starbreaker, you will be stopped now. But yeah, Tram is starting to definitely run slower laps now, even though well, no. He is still running faster laps than our leaders because he's on those fresher tires, but he is still 1 lap down, so he needs to have a miracle right now because there is no free pass, there's no wave around or anything like that in this game. Although you can force a wave around if you do it right under the game's pass, but there is no lucky dog or free pass unless you're playing in single player, which the game will give you the free pass. But and I've had that happen once before, many times online, but only once offline. It takes a lot of knowledge to be able to put yourself in that situation. Here's a cube that has been strong, wasn't strong in qualifying, but is now making his way through the field. The 06 of Hedgerton, looking to try and get another top 5 here at these intermediates. But he is still a decent ways back from our 3 leaders who've been going at us to start this race. But now lap traffic is fast approaching for our leaders right now. The field fillers, Baguette, Tram, Space Cube, and, or not Tram, he's not a field filler. Park, Traffic Cone, Tram, and, Park, Traffic Cone, Space Cube, and Baguette, all battling together for the close to last place positions. And here are our leaders catching up to them real quick. If they get slowed down, that'll allow Hedgerton, Toasto, Crush Cube, Curb, and Side Knuckles all to catch up very quickly to our leaders. What these guys do not need right now is a debris caution, because that would set them super far back in terms of their leading power. So that is something they absolutely do not need right now. Let's see if it can stay that way for them. This battle for the last few spots of the top 10 is still going on pretty well. Raccoon all by himself at 9th. Daisy now, I believe, is going to be in 10th as Grimnir Nation has fallen back 2 spots in 1 lap. But these 3 right now have the highest chance to win this race if nothing goes wrong for them. We've seen what happened to the 13 and to the 42. So we know that things can happen. Let's see, where is Packmobile right now? He is currently 22nd, so still not doing too great, but he's at least doing better than his current rival, which I would say is a win. No, I do not want to go to the Wheel of Names, but now, spark it up. Now trying to get to this lap traffic, he is a very decent lead now ahead of both Shadow and Hubris, so trying to cement himself as a winner here in this series. Let's see how far he can take it. Oh, I did not mean to do that to my mouse. Oh, great. Now there's a big old scratch mark where I scratched my fingernail on my mouse by accident. Oh crap, I tapped out. Okay, there we go. I'll deal with that later when I'm not streaming. This is kind of awkward. Still no cautions in this race so far, which is a bit of a surprise, considering they wrecked on lap 2 in the test race I did while trying to get the thumbnail for this race. Spark It Up has just been much, much faster than the rest of the field right now. Even though Shadow and Hubris both ran faster laps than he did there, he is still getting through this lap traffic with the breeze, and the more he gets ahead of the leaders, the less of a chance they have to get closer to him. But we are now approaching our final pit stops of the race. And let's see how they do. And let's see how this 98 especially does, because he could be our next first-time winner this season if he has a great pit stop and if he stays ahead of Hubris and Shadow once these pit stops end coming up soon. No, stop recalibrating the mouse. I just want to get this shit off of it. Oh well, I'll deal with it later. Not really my greatest attention right now to deal with that. We've just now broken the hour mark too, so we'll probably be around hour 20 when we're done with this race. Ooh, air traffic kind of Tram getting real close for comfort there out of turn 2. That is not what Tram needs right now. He's already in 38th, so he's going to lose a bunch of points. Or lose a bunch of points in his cushion for the championship. I believe he's currently 4th in points right now, but he does not need to. He did not need a bad finish here today, and same with the 13 of Gogomobile, who is still the only car out of this race. But now Spark It Up is ahead of the fuel fillers up here. Now he just needs to catch up to both Traffic Cone and U-Haul. Now Tram is running slower laps as well. You know, they did both just run faster laps than Spark It Up did, so I don't even really know what the game plan is here, but now they both have just gotten around Baguette, and they both have to try and work together at least to catch up to the 98 a little bit before they all come down pit road. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide with Baguette here. That's not good for Hubris at all. She gets forced up the track quite a bit, and now she's just kind of out of line. But these two, like I said, really need to work together to try and get back up front. But pit stops are now coming up soon. They're nearing lap 120, so that's the pit window. So we'll have to wait and see when this 98 especially comes down and gets his service for this race. Or his final pit stop of the race. He needs to be perfect in order to keep his lead ahead of both Shadow and Hubris here. A 14-second pit stop would be perfect for this team, because that's about the fastest you can get. At least with since they all have the same pit stop AI, they all pretty much have the same times. They just need to have no problems, no contact, no nothing. He basically just needs to be perfect for the rest of this race in order to get this win, and he has a chance to do it. He's been running great laps. He's now up to a 3-second lead ahead of Hubris and Shadow, so now Kreshke potentially could get up to 4th, but he's still locked in a tight battle for position with Tosto and Curb. And I really thought Curb was going to be up there earlier in this race, but no, not really. He's just been falling back, hasn't been all that fast, so tough break for him, even though he's still running 6th, but not the way Curb wanted this race to go, especially since he led a little bit at the start. He's going to really need to turn around and hope these pit stops work out for him, as we are now within the pit window. Let's see when these guys are going to come down and what strategy they take. With 30 laps left to go in this race, you really only need to take 2 tires. At least that's what I would do. Well, I'd take 4 tires, but I wouldn't take that much fuel. Unfortunately, I'm not skilled enough to change the base pit stop shenanigans for when you come down pit road, so I just usually take 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, but the game usually decides the adjustments, so I'm not up to that. bothers me the most. People that are laser pointering onto plane pilots, like, dude. Oh, Goob is on pit road. That could be our first taker on these green flag pit stops. No one else coming down just yet. Actually, no, Whimsicott's going to be one of our first takers as well. So is Sheepmobile and Grimir Nation, who is falling back quite a bit, so it makes sense for him to come down pit road early. Amori Jr. is in. So is Igus and Road Toad. So they're our first takers on this last run of green flag pit stops here at Nashville. They just need to be careful not to cause a caution, because that would really mess things up, especially on these pit stops. So we don't want a repeat of what happened last season with McQueen and Eggdog to happen here again. Looks like they're all taking all 4 tires and 1 can of fuel, so our leader Spark It Up now coming on to pit road. Raccoon just led a lap for, I believe, the 2nd time today, as most of our leaders now coming down for service. Sad Knuckles coming in as Igus coming out. Very close call for both of them there. Yeah, basically everyone coming in now. Yeah, look at this large line. Yeah, basically everyone's coming in now. It's kind of like a caution flag period with how many... Oh, wow. Among Us really had to slow down to get past Dragon Knight to get into his pit stall. It looks like Shadow is going to be ahead of Spark It Up, so he's going to beat the 98 to the line on pit road. That may decide who ends up winning this race if Shadow gets a good start here. But he actually did it. He beat the 98. He had a faster stop than the 98, and he's going to get out ahead of the 98. So a great run for Shadow, who could end up making it 2 in a row here today at Nashville if he manages to make it to the end with the speed that he has. But they all basically took 4 tires and fuel. The 51 of Among Us pitting for damage, probably from that little bit of contact he had on pit road. But Shadow now, once out, once again, ahead out of the rest of this field. Everyone else that just pitted now are coming out. Gunn having an extended stop. Once again, he's probably fixing the damage that he got from earlier with that tire, so... Or he probably got damage on pit road, so who knows. So Raccoon just got off of pit road. He is now going to ride in the 8th position. 7th, actually. And now Shadow's back out front here at Nashville. All he needs to do for these last 25 laps is to make it to the end with no issues whatsoever, and hope that that 31 of Space Cube can hold off Spark It Up for just a little bit longer so he can get out to more of a lead. But Shadow could potentially go back-to-back. The first contender to do it this season. Can the 3 of Shadow go back-to-back in this race? As now Gunn gets off of pit road. And, oh, Gunn is retired with a gearbox failure, so he must have had an issue during that round of pit stops. So he is done for the day as well. So he must have had a bad shift, or maybe he lost a gear, which can happen to the AI. So he probably lost an important gear, like maybe 4th gear, so he probably could not do that. But now here comes Shadow's biggest competition right now, the 11 of Park. This is definitely his biggest roadblock in order to have a clean finish, as now Spark It Up and Hubris have both cleared the 31 and are now actively catching up to the 3 for the lead. He's definitely running slower lap times than these two. Well, actually just the 98, but this could end up being a three-way battle for the win. So Shadow now really hoping that this 11 gets out of the way, but the 11, he's like, hey guys, let's get a good finish here today. I don't want someone being 2 seconds ahead. I want a photo finish like we did yesterday. He's really putting Shadow's integrity to the test right now. And these two still holding him up here, and that's going to really allow the 98. Hubris has fallen off quite a bit, and the 98 of Spark It Up just ran his fastest lap of the race. Now he's second fastest out of the entire field, and he is hunting down Shadow for the lead as he now gets past the U-Haul, but he still can't get past this 11. Calling Pac Ryan Newman out here. He really doesn't want Shadow to win. I found you, faker. Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're not even the real Sonic. The real Sonic is running in... where is Suncube right now? Oh, 15th. The real Sonic is in 15th right now, but now Shadow clears the 11, but he's still got a little bit of lap traffic just ahead of him. Out of turn 4, he's got Galaga, Dragonite, Gentle Cat, and 70-Sider all have yet to go a lap down in this race. So now the 98 of Spark It Up has to deal with that traffic. Now Shadow just has to keep it clean for the rest of this race. Hope the 98 doesn't catch up and win in the end. Let's see if he can go on and do that. But to go back-to-back, the only other cube that has done that in this series is Bob the Builder from Season 1. He ended up winning 4 races that season, I believe. Actually, I think it was just 3. But he ended up going back-to-back at, I believe, New Hampshire, and I don't remember what track it was after New Hampshire, but I'll have to look back and see the stats of that. But he was the only cube to go back-to-back last season. Shadow could potentially be the only one to go back-to-back this season if he can go on and win here today at Nashville. This big pack of, not really a big pack, but just 4 of them right here, 4 lap cars, could potentially be a huge roadblock to his chances. Now Spark It Up is ahead of all those lap cars, and he's going to chase down Shadow for the lead. He is running much faster lap times than that 3 is, and now he has really got to hold him off here. So let's see if he can do it in these the remaining laps here at Nashville. Now Shadow getting past this lap traffic right here. It gets past Dragonite. That puts another pick for the 98 to try and get around for the lead. He's now basically cleared away from Hubris. Toasto now runs 4th. Raccoon runs 5th. Crush Cube runs 7th. Basically, none of these guys are in contention to win unless a caution comes out, but who knows if that'll happen or not. And, oh, Pac-Mobile with a tire problem. Our points leader now has to come onto pit road, and that is really good. That's really good for Daisy because she's in the top 10. She's running 16th right now. She did not benefit from those pit stops. But that's really good for Daisy right now, as both of her championship competition are basically now having issues in this race. Golgomobile out with an engine failure. Now Pac-Mobile with a tire problem. He's definitely going to go a couple laps down. So that is not good for him at all. Just left side tires. He's not taking any fuel. He just wants to make it to the end now. Heartbreak for that 97 team, though. But Spark It Up is catching really, really fast to that 3 car. And he's really chasing down that first career win. Down to less than half a second on Shadow as he has a really bad corner. And here comes the 98 looking to take that lead away. With 10 laps to go here at Nashville, now the 97 is rejoining the track. And is now going to throw a block on the inside lane. That's where the 98 is running. He's got to check up a little bit. And now Shadow gets around Pac-Mobile, stays out front, but that 98 is hot on his tail. Let's see if we can get around Pac-Mobile here. Pac-Mobile's going to be on fresher tires since he just got off of pit road. Even though his tires are now cold, he's really holding up the 97 right now. Or 98, sorry. 97 is holding up the 98. What a concept. Now Spark It Up has cleared Pac-Mobile. And now Shadow trying to get past both Gentle Cat and Dragonite to make it much harder for the 98 to catch up to him. Ooh, Spark It Up went wide in that corner. He lost a bit of momentum, but he is still catching at a pretty rapid rate. Down from 0.7 to 0.44. Ran 0.2 of a second faster. He's gaining in the corner. Shadow's really struggling for grip now as the 98 had a great run out of turn number 2, and he's almost right on the back bumper of the 3. This could be for the lead right here if he catches up to him here with his lap traffic right up ahead. '06 with a problem. That is Hedgerton. He is slow on the track. That might be a caution. If that's a caution, we may have overtime. He's going to stop on the apron right here. That may end up being a caution flag. Let's watch the flagman right here. See if he starts waving the yellow. Looks like it's not going to happen. No caution for the 06 stopping on track, and a disappointing heartbreak for Hedgerton, who is running in the top 10 for most of the day, and he is definitely not going to end up there at the end of this race. Shadow and Spark It Up have now cleared McQueen. But now with a lot of lap traffic, Shadow goes wide in the corner. Here comes the 98 for the lead with 5 laps to go. This might be for the win right here, as Spark It Up is much faster in the corners and much better at getting around this lap traffic. McQueen gets right to the back bumper of the 3, almost turns him in the corner. Shadow gets stuck on the top lane, but now he gets a great run out of turn number 2, and he's right behind the 98 on the back straightaway. Right on the back bumper once again, trying to pass him back for the lead, but Shadow's having a lot of trouble getting to grip in the corners. He is really slow in turns 3 and 4. And Spark It Up is just way faster than him overall in the corners. It has been probably one of the most dominant cars in this race. Is now back out front, but how long is he going to be able to manage with these lap cars, as 70-sider is now blocking the 3 for to try and, I mean, he's now a lap down. He's down to 27th, but still. Shadow needs to dive down to the bottom, try and get past him here in these closing laps, but I believe he threw it all away, pun intended. But I believe this race is now Spark It Up's to lose. Shadow really needs a miracle right now. He needs the rest of this field. He needs these lappers all to be super incompetent and help slow down the 98. He got a great run on the back straightaway. Here he comes once again to try and take the lead away from Spark It Up. Oh, but he had another bad corner. But now the 98 stuck behind Galaga. 2 to go this time by. Can the 98... Oh, now the 98 had a bad corner, but so did Shadow. They both went up in the corner. But now Shadow still has a chance to catch up to the 98. He is having a lot of trouble getting past the 16 of Galaga. Now Shadow's back up to his bumper. He's going to try and take the outside lane. Tries the crossover move. Not going to work out. As now the 06 is on pit road. Or now exiting pit road. White flag. 1 lap to go here at Nashville. Shadow needs to be perfect in these last few corners. He lost a lot of momentum to the 98 out of turn number 2. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get past him here in these last couple of corners. going to try and take a look. But he's not going to go back-to-back here today, or will he? No, he will not. Spark It Up gets his first career win at Nashville. And in a moment where a first-time winner almost went back-to-back for his first 2 wins in his career, is now another first-time winner that will win a race in Season 2, and it's the 98 taking the victory for Team CGB here today at Nashville. It is a Team CGB 1-2-3 as Hubris finishes 3rd. I believe that's her best finish of the season, which is crazy to say considering how good she was last season in terms of consistency. Session complete, so now I can export. But Spark It Up wins, Shadow 2nd, Hubris 3rd, Toasto 4th, Crush Cube gets another top 5. Raccoon gets 6th, Curb 7th, Meloetta 8th, Heihachi 9th, and Sad Knuckles gets a top 10. And only 3. Actually, Hedgerton retired at the very end of the race, so tough break for Hedgerton. Not only for Hedgerton, but also for Pac-Mobile, who finishes 2 down. And same with Tram, who finishes 1 down. So some of our higher-up points contenders like Gogomobile and Pac-Mobile and Tram all had issues in today's race. So they are definitely suffering after that. But that is it for Nashville today. When we come back on Friday, we'll be racing at a track we didn't even get to finish last season. And that is Phoenix. So we are going to be racing there on Friday. Should be around the same time as normal. But even though it was 8:30 this time. But thank you all for watching today. We'll see you for the Phoenix race on Friday. And good night.